You're listening to Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. Welcome back to another stacked episode of Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. As always, I am the RBV, Richard Bronson Vickery. But sitting next to me, ladies and gentlemen, no, he is not just any ordinary man. I've been waiting for this one. He is the National Hot Rod Association Hall of Famer, Redman. Welcome back to your show, brother. Well, are you feeling different, man?
Oh my God. I tell you what, it's so humbling experience. We'll get into it a little bit. We're going to start with a little bit of fun, but Richard, I'll tell you what a great weekend. And it was just, it's an awesome feeling. And people at home now know, because of social media. And I was in a place yesterday, I had to have a meeting and everybody, congratulations. It's like, wow, people do pay attention to this social media thing. Is a hot deal. So, that's why we're doing this show. We want to get out there and make people feel good.
I think that is a great way to open the show, to say thank you to all the support that we've had early on. We got a handful of episodes out there. We've got some big things coming up. We got a great conversation today. We're going to start with a little cruise down memory lane. We're going to jump into the big weekend that was all of the festivities. We got some local track news here for us that kind of speaks to the entire sport of drag racing. We're going to touch base on that. Hey, but first, again, thank you to everybody for the early support, all the comments, all the likes, the shares. I mean, it's been kind of overwhelming with all of it.
Oh, yes. I talked to a lot of people up there, and they were good enough to let me make a little plug there at the banquet. I hope people chime on. We want to have some fun with you and have fun with the world. We know it's so ugly out here right now, and we got to have a little light at the end of the tunnel.
You always out there hustling, promoting. Even in the middle of your speech, you got to put over the show here. But hey, man, that's why you are the commander here at the Harrison VFW 7570. A lot of great things going on here. But hey, we wanted to start today. We got a great response from the last episode where we went into the holy grail, the Bible, if you will, that you've got there of your photo collection. Wow. I mean, the photos that you collected, 54 years, and you were always on that camera. You went in and you dug out a couple of these here, Redman. We're going to get them up here, talk about them. Now, do you know the history on these? Because I thought there was a couple that you were
this is where we want you all out there to join in. There's things I don't know some of these folks. But when I'd see a nice car, we're all guilty. We take a picture of it. We don't know who they are. I learned who some of them were later on. But there's some I got that if you know, put it in the comments. We'd like to know. I'd like to know who they were, because it's a lot of history here, and it's just neat to see this stuff. When I get looking through my pictures, it's like, wow, I get thinking about the good old days and today's day and everything. And it's like, the people you met, the people that's been involved. People don't realize how big drag racing really is when it started and up to this present day. Especially people that's not involved.
Right. Well, there's so many, laps fans that you remember, the years going down there that haven't, and we encourage, right now, we're looking forward to another boom period in drag racing across the entire sport, no matter where you're listening at. I think that's also cool. Where we're based here in Southwest Ohio, the tri-state area here of Cincinnati, but we've got listeners here chiming in from all over the country, North America. So get out, support those local tracks. But I'm going to hold up one of the photos here. We will digitally edit this thing in here. So you get a better look at it here. But Redman, our first one.
Yeah, it's a 58 Pontiac. I'm not knowing the history real good. It popped in my brain this morning, and I don't know. I need the help of Tommy Reese and Rick Winchester and the boys. But that could have been Kenny Sharp. I'm not sure back in the day. Now, that thing ran E-stock automatic back then, and it was a pretty stout car, and what back then was junior stock eliminator. And it was a neat car, silver and black. And later on, I got a picture of a guy had a GTO 64 when they came out, muscle car. And it was later on named the Grog. We were talking about names, GROG. And that thing was badass. It ran B stock. And that's when the GTOs come out, 64. And man, this car was bad to the bone.
All right. So hey, anybody that's got any information on that,
Yes.
hit us up in
Correct me
the
if I'm
comments.
wrong, yeah.
It's in the comments. Let us know. Hey, and if you've got some great photos out there, some old school sweet rides that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to share that on our social media. Drop those in the comments. Hit us with a direct message here. We've got a second one here. Anything else on that one?
Well, no, but back to what you're talking about, pictures. I just saw on Facebook, somebody put one on there like pictures with me in there. I think you put that on there, started it. And there was a picture of me and Skeeter Wayne's wife, Claudia. And then somebody put another picture on with me in it. And then somebody else had one, I think, when I was working the starting line or behind the starter. So, yeah, we'd love to see them. There's stuff.
Well, was that you in the cap there, the polka dot cap that was at the water box?
I meant to years ago, that's what I wore, a polka dot hat. You know, that's how everybody knew me. I wore one of them welder's hats. My dad worked on the railroad, as we talked, and he always wore one. So I had a fascination to wear one, and they were a comfortable hat. You know, you just throw it on and off you go. You don't have to adjust no bands, don't do nothing, just throw it on and ride. So I wore one of them for years until I had to start being corporate and wearing Winston or whoever at the time, you know.
Before they made you put on those clip-on ties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you went corporate there.
Oh, yeah.
Now we got our second one here. We'll give everybody a little peek.
Okay, that's a Willys A gas car. Now this picture, I'm not sure. A guy named Lloyd Huff owned that car originally. And it was right? Real pretty, gasser was real pretty blue. I don't know if they redid the front end or an accident or what, but later on, I heard the Mink brothers bought that car and ran that car for a little while. But that car was pretty quick for.
Is that a dirt track?
No, that's Edgewater. Back in the day, that's kind of like your burnout area now.
Okay.
And if you look at that picture, and if the guys that been to Edgewater realize that had grass in the middle.
See the grass there.
Yeah, and you would sit there and you'd burn out like the car the way it's facing, and you'd pull up. Well, them pictures when I took them, we had a stoplight. That was your starting system. It was red, yellow, green, and that's how they ran back then. And also a cute little story is they spot you by car lengths, and you were allowed up to 7 car lengths. So if that A gasser is running like a 6-cylinder gasser, that thing would be sitting out 7 car lengths. Well, they found out eventually that wasn't a good system, because if the high-powered car didn't brake or something or spin, the slower car didn't have a chance trying to build up the speed. So that's when new stuff, new equipment come out to do the handicap system, you know.
Very, very cool there. I mean, now that I look at it, I can see like the background, the tree line, the hills there. It does look like Edgewater, but a much different look there.
Well, we're going to go down one day, right? This when it warms up, and we're going to maybe take a history down and show you how you used to go in. You went in the main gate that's still there, but how you went down and how the cars actually went in before it was changed to present times. And in that picture there, if you look probably straight over that car's roof, is probably about where the concession stand is right now. So yeah, it was the starting line. If you look at Edgewater and you're sitting on the starting line at Edgewater, look at that concession stand, or what do they call that? The something lounge, starting line lounge?
Oh, the first round lounge.
Round lounge.
On the riverside there.
That's where the starting line was at.
Formerly a concession stand. Now we have the new beautiful one over there, pit side.
Right. And that's where the starting line was at. And they ran a quarter. Think about that back then. Of course, they were 9 seconds, 10 seconds, about as quick as they ran. There was one 8-second car, but they ran a quarter mile. So add on to what we got now, probably over an 1/8 mile more asphalt and concrete. So, or maybe even more. And that's how they extended Edgewater later on. The Mingus family did.
That is awesome. A little cruise down memory lane. Again, hey, if you've got some awesome photos out there, if you've taken it to tracks around the country, leave them in the comments. Share them with us on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com. This Redman in the House podcast or pod. You can find us there. We'd love to share those and talk about them here on the show. Hey, we're going to take a brief break here in the show, a little something new. We got an advertisement about some merchandise that is coming up that we want you guys to help us represent our mobile force. Hit the streets, let everybody know about the awesome show here. Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. We'll be back on the other side of the break. Boosting businesses, building brands, connecting the community. At ASAP Custom Prints and Apparel, we're about more than just producing sweet swag. We help others grow their professions, products, and passions. Hey, call me, RBV, to learn how our services will complement your business strategies. You can give me a call or text 513-227-6504. We are back. Hey, I look forward to some of this merchandise. And I know we put out the bat signal there on our social media, on our Facebook. People be interested. Hey, we've already got some people lined up. They want to be a part. They want to be representing. We've got one of our great partners. You can see on my shirt, ASAP Apparel, going to be doing that prints for us here. They're based here out of Cincinnati, but they ship coast to coast all over North America. Go ahead and check them out. That is ASAP Apparel. We're going to thank them very much for the prints, the merchandise that we have coming at you. Well, Redman, this past weekend, I asked you if you felt any different. If life has changed? Hey, you said people were already recognizing you out on the street. You're signing autographs, kissing babies. The red carpet being rolled out for you everywhere. What an amazing honor. National Hot Rod Association Hall of Famer. I mean, it's got to be so cool. I love saying it. You got to love hearing it. But having said it, we talked last week about the great honor it was. But to go up there, I mean, walk us through the entire trip. Maybe even getting in the car, that ride up there, the nerves, seeing the people taking the podium, all of that.
Well, we left Friday night. We went up and I met my buddy Brad, starter for Division III. We had dinner and had a nice evening, and we kind of kicked back. And Saturday we got up and I'm trying to jostle down a few notes, and he was going to introduce me. So he come over to the room and ask a few questions. And as it got closer, it was getting like, now the anxiety's building up and everything.
Now it's getting real.
Right. So I get all dressed, I get my tie on, my clip on, and then we turn around and we go and people seeing you, congratulating you. Oh, it's a beautiful setting. I can't thank William Tharp and his whole crew. They put on such a great banquet. Food excellent, the setting, the lights. Oh, there you go, Rich. And it was just so beautiful.
Yeah,
and such a good, so nice a setup. And I'm looking around and taking a couple pictures myself, and I was just in awe. And we sit there, and I was okay, and now come time. So I'm getting more nervous. Well, then Brad goes up and he starts introducing me. He's starting to choke up a little bit. Now I'm starting to get a little choky. And then we turn around, they call me up. Well, as I go up, he gives me a hug, so I'm starting to walk towards the podium, and I'm sitting there and I can notice my hands, my paper started shaking. It's like, this is a reality now. Don't mess up now. But I struggled a little bit. I wanted to get out everything I wanted to say. I missed a couple things, honoring some people and stuff that I wanted to add to it and pass on to the people there, plus people on this podcast. And so I started out, thanking the Mingus family. They owned Edgewater during the 50s and mid 60s, all the 60s. And then about 2 or 3, 4 years into the 70s, I thanked them. What a great family. They ran the whole business, and Phil had a great operation, big family style deal, much like today with Rob Winley. His family was all involved, his mom, his brothers, a couple of them. And it was the same way with that family. So then while I was at Edgewater, I wanted to thank Lee Holmes. Lee Holmes was the tech director. A lot of folks out there, if you remember Lee, little skinny guy, always had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Such a cool guy. He had a 390-64 blue, and it was pretty quick. And then his right-hand man was Harvey Bond. And a lot of folks remember Harvey. What a great person. What a great human being. I love Nancy and Harvey. They were such great mentors. They would taught me to be fair. That's what I was telling people. Be fair. You can like who you want. Well, I like that blue car. I like the red car. But stay right down the middle. Don't nod. You can't play favorites. So then, they started me out the head of the lanes, and then eventually moved me to the starting line, and they were great mentors about how to start the starting line. So then the next one I had to phase in was I had to thank Bob Daniels and Eileen. They turn around, they sit there, and they were the ones to bring me on board working national events in 1978. Let me back up a step. I started
that predates me, baby.
Oh, I know.
That's 1 year before I'm even here.
Right, but I had to back up a minute because I started Edgewater in 71. That was with the Mingus family. So in 78, well, in the 70s, a guy named Jim Settles bought Edgewater. He owned a big motorcycle shop on Coleraine Avenue. He bought it, and he started having the Winston races. Well, I worked the starting line. Bob Daniels and his wife Eileen were the division director and wife. So they turned around. They liked what I did, asked me if I ever wanted to work a national event. So that's how I worked my first national event in 1978. So I had to thank them. Then later down the road,
moving on up.
Oh, yeah. So later down the road, NHRA creates a class called Super Gas. Well, they were having trouble starting these cars and the things going on and everything. So Keith Farrell, had to thank him and his wife. And they sit there and they needed a starter because things were kind of messed up till we got the blue light special, they call it. So then they said, Bill, would you be my starter? You know how to start cars. You know this, you know that. You're fair, everything else. And I said, sure, it'd be an honor to. So I became the Division III starter about 1983. So then Keith retired after about 3, 4, 5 years, and then Jay Hullinger come on board and kept me there as a starter. And I appreciate that. I was with him all the way till the end. And then I got to thank William Tharp. He gave me a chance to be a subcontractor, help out with some of the parking. I wanted to thank him. And so I thanked everybody, through the racing organization I could thank. Well, then I forgot because I got a little nervous. What a great honor it was to go with Irvin Johns. Irvin, such a great racer, such an ambassador.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to be there, passed away.
But his wife put on such a good speech for him. He was such a great man, Rich. He had great race cars. She told the story how he raced and got away from it and then got into tractor pulling. And then he turned around and he kind of got away with that and wanted to go back into racing. And he was a mentor to a lot of the young Louisville boys down there. Helped numerous. She named the list. The list goes on. The young guys and gals they helped down there in Louisville. And the team promoter, what a great race team with him, Todd France, Gary France. What they're fabulous. They run strong, they run hard, and it was such an honor to go in with Irvin. I really enjoyed my time with Irvin Johns. So then, you go on, you try to thank. I had to thank Miss Fay for having all the years with me of let me go and understanding.
I think she's the real rock star, pulling over you for all
that years. Yeah, me being gone. 1 year I was gone 26 weeks, like I said before. I was gone, and that's where you don't go to dances or you don't go to the movies or go to something else, and I missed a lot of things, personally with that. But she stuck by me, and she's probably the first person.
What are you, Barney and Andy, going to dances in the movie?
Oh, yeah. And then we sit
going
there.
Down to get the quarter plate meal.
Yeah. So she sit there, and she was the first person to really ever get why I do what I do. When she went one time to the races, and she sat back later and told me, said, hey, I see why you do this. And I wanted to, talk a little bit about division directors. They go through so much. I mean, becoming a commander of VFW, it finally dawned on me when you become in a position like that what the responsibility is. Like me, I would have my differences with Jay or Keith or whoever, and you think, why are we doing this? And why, and then it dawns on you, what a juggling act these folks got to do. They got to, schedule. They got to do this, do that. Oh, we didn't schedule that 2 hour oil down, did we? Now we got to rejuvenate the schedule again to keep the promoter happy, the spectators happy, the racer happy. And one of these groups is not going to be happy. Yeah. But it's such a juggling act and the stress. And, we were talking about what do you do during the winter? Will's job's never done.
The winter might arguably be the busiest time.
Oh, yeah.
For a director or a track owner, promoter.
Well, look, I watched him up there at this banquet, and he's hustling this, hustling that, running here, running there. And it just, you don't realize what all these guys do.
You guys know Will from the North Central Division. He is full of energy.
Right.
Go-getter, man. Absolutely loves, his job and the sport of drag racing. So, he's getting on it.
Oh, yeah. And and he loves it, and he's got a passion for it. And it's been so neat to kind of help him, when I can, in the position I can be in. And it's like, he's moving. He's got so many things out, and then you're meeting with sponsors. You're trying to promote races. You're trying to get sponsorship to make better races for the racer. They made some introductions up there. And one of the things coming on, we touched on juniors one podcast, right?
We have been big supporters here of the junior class, the Junior Drag Race League.
Coming down the road, keep an eye out. Oakley Motorsports is going to do something for the juniors during the Super Quick Series. So keep your eyes open. They're really going all out on this, and it really sounds exciting. And to watch them little kids, well, all of them's not little, but there was a little girl up there, so sweet, and she won like 3 awards. They had to put a box out for her to stand up on. And the speeches, and one little boy, he was good. He was going on, and every time he would thank somebody, right, he would mention them, and then he put the thank you on the end. Well, he did this one time, and he hesitated. So everybody started clapping. He says, "I'm not done yet." And everybody cracked up.
And what I really love about the juniors, I mean, the competition is so fierce. So they want to get out there, get after it, but the camaraderie is so great. You know, it is a great little club for them. They're all friends. They're all there to support each other. But when you see them in the cars, and again, the competition is some of the best you're going to find across all of drag racing. But they get after it, and you forget that they're just kids in there.
Right. And the thing is they tell about their experiences, and you ought to listen to them, how the great experience of going to, I think Wabash Valley, or one of them held, or no, Norwalk. Somebody held the divisional ET finals. They're talking about their experience there. Then they talked about if they went to Bristol and their experience down there, how much fun they had and what the racing was. And then a couple of them's been out west, like out to Denver. And it's like, whoa, you know, what a trip that'd be for a small fella or girl to go to and enjoy yourself. They were so on their game. I mean, people sit there that it just puts a smile on your face.
I think that's the best to see, Redman. You light up talking about it and how important it is for someone like you, you know, going into the hall, so much that you give into the great history, and you're looking towards hopefully another boom period, a bright future, and you know it lies with these kids.
Oh, yeah. It's going to keep us going. And then, you know, finally, I guess I never got to it, and I wanted to thank, you know, there's so many folks that's made up Division III all these years. So you figure you go back to when probably divisions were created. Every racer, every track owner, every track promoter, sponsors, Racers for Christ, all these entities that I got, proper English, but I got chosen to go into the hall. And that's, people don't realize what a big thrill and honor that is, of all these folks that are well deserving, that are still, and Will's working on that. That's something coming up in the future. He's going to try to hopefully, you know, involve more people into the hall, which will be great. And but the track promoters, a lot of people like track promoters, you know, we're going to touch base here in the subject a little bit, but look at them. You know, we talked about wintertime. What do? Well, here's Rob Winley. He's trying to get bracket races going, big bracket races going. Other ones that got Lucas races, other ones Super Quick Series. They're trying to get their sponsors, trying to get their tracks operating on. What, you know, Bill Bader, my goodness, I don't know if that man ever sleeps either. He just always talking, always, you know, meeting people, doing this, doing that, and such a promoter of the sport. He takes it, you know, from his dad. Very good. Bill Sr. was another one, you know, never met a stranger, and turn around and they sit there and they get out and they're hustling. So for them to maybe get a week or two vacation, come on, honey, let's go. We got to hurry up and get back. You know, they don't get to really get out there and relax, you know. So it was just a great experience, Rich. I'll tell you what, and like I said, the setting, everything, it was a beautiful night. It really was. One of the biggest thrills of my life to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, we'll live forever immortalized as a National Hot Rod Association Hall of Famer. Some of these great photos there, you know, you at the podium, catching up, as you said, with a lot of old friends there. Probably not even enough time in just the, you know, the day and a half there to get all the pictures. Hey, one of the things you had mentioned to me, you had put over the buffet.
Oh,
the food, man! You were raving about that food.
Food, I mean, excellent. They had ham and chicken and mac and cheese, green beans, and oh, mercy! I don't eat like I used to, but if I would have, I'd probably put on about 10 pounds. It was a heck of a feedback.
So, hey, that's not the camera putting on any extra weight. That's the buffet that they had up there at the banquet. Some good eats, man. Hey, me being at the foodie that I am, man, I love to hear
Kudos to the banquet hall. I mean, they did, and like I said, the setting, was beautiful. The lights, everything about it. It was really neat. And not knocking any in the past, because every banquet is unique. I got wild stories I could tell about ones way back in the day when they were a little bit wilder.
We might have set up a members only thing to,
Yeah, it might have to be rated X. Yeah. I don't know.
Have to card you at the door to let you in on those
yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, Redman, as we do wrap up this week's show here locally in our backyard, he said, where you started way back when you were just cutting your teeth in this profession. You got it going there at Edgewater. I'm currently there, looking forward to my 7th season. But some big news that shook this area, this region. Right. And sadly, we're seeing this a lot right now throughout the sport of drag racing, especially over the last 5 years. But Edgewater has announced that they are for sale. They're going into 70 years right now as a racetrack. You got your start there. The Winleys have had it for going on 47 years. Kind of a sad news.
Sad for me, because that's where I raised high school and as a young man and adult and everything. And I've got 3 generations working these races. My son, my grandson, they're both working them. It's like, it was the place to be. It's like our little saying here at the VFW, the place to be is at the V. Well, back down there, it was Edgewater. And,
the race place in Cincinnati.
Right. And the thing, Rich, back in the day, it dawned on me, we had 4 racetracks within an hour. You had Edgewater, Beachmont Dragway, Tri-State, and Thornhill. I think Thornhill still runs, Tri-State's gone, and Beachmont's gone. So Edgewater and Thornhill are the 2 left out of the 4. And like I say, they were within an hour. A lot of people didn't know that.
Well, we got a few, you still get to Dayton.
Right. But I mean, that's a little further. We got Kilcare and, right. Columbus. But what I'm saying is right within Cincinnati, you could draw a little circle around the map there. Cincinnati, you had 4 tracks. And that was really
kind of crazy how they all would work together.
Yeah. And they all had their own unique programs. But Edgewater, my goodness, the history. We know there's trouble down there. Kentucky Speedway on the NASCAR side, they just rezoned it. We were talking earlier about it. And you hate to see it. Look at Atlanta Dragway, Memphis Dragway, Englishtown. My goodness, I made trips to Englishtown. It's gone. There's just so many things. And we know everybody's getting older and stress on the family. And we talk, no pun intended, Rob's catching me, he's right behind me, and everybody's getting older, and it gets harder to keep that hustle and bustle and energy when you're getting older to that everyday grind of that racetrack. You got so much to do.
What it is, I think, I really don't have any insider information pertaining particularly to Edgewater. We are going forward this season. We have got a great schedule, some new events, some great attractions. More to the test to get, those fun runs, bring the community out there, let people get out there and have some fun. Going back to that bread and butter, some bracket racing. We are gung-ho going forward. So out there, if you're in an area where a track might be, heading in that direction, looking to sale for a sale, hey, this is the perfect time, the call of arms to get out there and show that support for potential buyers, to let them know there is a need.
It's a viable,
for these kind of attractions.
Viable purchase, right?
Right. So that doesn't, turn into condominiums or a next strip mall or something like that.
Well, Edgewater is so pretty. It's kind of like a park setting, which it was a park at one time. Kind of
the amusement park, the beach setting.
Right. And you'd go down through there in the trees, and you're sitting down in the valley, and you got a little river beside you. And them and Bowling Green are kind of running the same parallels, Beach Bend down there. And it just, you drive in and it's like, wow, there's a racetrack here, where a lot of them, they'll sit on some flat land or around maybe in the middle of the business section or something. But Edgewater just had the uniqueness when you pull in that gate and go down that little hill and come around that little half curve, and you go, wow, this is really slick down here. When I worked for Lucas Races, a lot of racers had never raced Edgewater. Like, this is a nice place. And Edgewater became one of their favorite tracks to go to, especially on the trail of the points meets. So
a lot of great tracks out there. Need a lot of support. And I guess that's what, our call. We can send a message out here on this episode. Get out there. Race season weeks away here, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there. Show that support. We're gonna sign off for this week's show. We got one of our favorite sweethearts, Shannon, here. She's getting the Harrison VFW, the 7570 ready to rock and roll. You can catch her down here Thursdays and Sundays, I believe.
She's one of my elderest bartenders, but she's good. Little Gabby,
Hey,
but she'll talk your arm off.
I was going to say, if you love talking some hot rods and racing, she can carry her own in that conversation.
Yeah.
She's got some stories on that. She keep up with anybody when you want to talk about the race game.
Well, she's a Ford girl. She's got some neat Mustangs. You know, she loves her Mustangs, and she had been to the racing game. She told me one day here not long ago where she'd been to the U.S. Nationals and how much she liked them, and got to go. So, yeah, some of my VFW folks are just great about it. I had a girl before we chime off. Sorry, honey, I forgot her first name, but asked me if I knew her dad, Tom Estes, and I said probably if I seen him, and he went to Edgewater in the 70s and so on and so forth. And she said she's going to get on the podcast with us. And thanks for the kind words the other day on Facebook, and we chit chat on Messenger a little bit. So, yeah, reach out to me on Messenger or something you want us to talk about. We're going to hopefully here get Maxine trapped in and do some exclusives on backup girls. I even talked to a couple up there at Indy, former comp girls that backed their husbands up in comp eliminator.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Hey, we got a lot of fun episodes coming at you. I know one of the future episodes right around November, we're going to be talking about the Cavalcade Customs. And,
that big show in the wintertime to break up the winter, how great that was. I know a lot of people in Cincinnati will be ready for that.
That is going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. Hey, I'm RPV. He is the Hall of Famer. Hey, you've been watching Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast.
See y'all later.